Hi guys, my name is Kurt. It's crazy that this is the first time a lot of you have ever seen what I look like or met me. It's nice to meet all you guys, and I'm so excited to be a part of this master's class with you guys, and it's been such a blessing to me so far. I really am sad that I wasn't able to be with you guys during the anatomy intensive. I know that was a time for you guys to really bond, and I know I was definitely thinking of you during my long 17-hour days during training camp. As most of you guys know, my current clinical setting is as a seasonal athletic trainer for the Cleveland Browns. We just had our first regular season game yesterday. Had an unfortunate loss, 31-10 I think it was, to the Jets, with some unfortunate injuries. Looking forward to getting those guys healthy again and hoping to have a successful rest of the year. So this week's material is something that I'm pretty unfamiliar with for the most part. I know it's something that in our undergraduate sports psychology class that we touched on briefly for a little bit. I know we discussed varying stress management techniques, but it's something that was never really stressed as to be an important or effective part of what athletic training can be. It's also something that I never saw used during my undergraduate experience at my various clinical sites. And I think it's just something that's extremely underlooked from athletic trainers. In the study that I saw, 27% of the athletes were ever even taught from their clinicians any type of stress management techniques. And I think part of that deals with the individual athlete and the receptiveness of our athletes. As you guys know, a lot of our athletes are different. I mean, none of our athletes are the same, so some of them will be receptive to maybe some of these techniques, and some of them will enjoy and see more success in certain ones. And I think as athletic trainers, we're doing our athletes a disservice by not trying. I think at the least that we can do is offer the service of maybe thought stopping or imagery or progressive relaxation, and at least present these ideas to our athletes and see if they're interested. The worst that they can say is no, and I think as athletic trainers we're doing our part by helping prevent them from re-injury before they return to competition by doing these prior to their first event. I think specifically thought stopping and imagery can be very successful by our athletes who are returning to competition by turning negative cues into positive ones. I know that if an athlete, in our instance, the softball player, when she's stepping up to the plate for the first time, if she isn't already well prepared with how to turn negative thoughts into positive ones, then the only thing that she's going to be thinking of is negative images or images of her original injury, and she'll be distracted from her normal anatomical and biomechanics and will be predisposing her to further injury. So again, like I said, I think with the right athlete done at the right time, I think it can be effective. But I think that stems with us as athletic trainers knowing our athletes on a deeper level. I think it's paramount for us to have an understanding of who our athletes are, their personalities, their history of stressors, and their coping resources. Who do they have to fall back on? Are you their only source of reference to talk to? Are you the only person that they can come to? Do they have issues with family, girlfriends, coaches? I think it's important for us to know where our athletes are psychologically in order to better treat them physically. I think that's where these stress management techniques come into play, is by helping relieving some of that stress and anxiety that they may be having through other aspects of their life, and helping them focus on returning back to play and being successful at it. Again, this is something that I'm very unfamiliar with and look forward to using it in the future. I know right now on my clinical site it may not be the best opportunity for me to bring about some of these stress management techniques when we have our own sports psychologists and psychiatrists for the team, but I do know moving forward next year, wherever the Lord takes me, that I definitely will be more versed and well prepared to use these with my athletes and see the success level that it has. Again, guys, so thankful that I can finally meet you and get to know you, and look forward to the next year with you guys. Thanks.